Today I'm looking at a mock piece of data in front of me, and I'm specifically looking at this column A. If we look at column A, the addresses in it this time do not have a delimiter. So that makes it a little more challenging on trying to break up those addresses because our CCD system cannot take it as one full address. It needs it to be split apart into address, city, state, and zip code. Now, there are a couple of ways that we can do this. There is a formula called text split that you can use, but sometimes that's not the best way to break apart the data without the delimiter. Same for text to columns. What it's going to do is it's going to break out everything in its each own column, and sometimes that can get tricky when there's multiple words that are splitting apart in different ways. So the easiest way that I have found to break apart this data is to first highlight column A, move it all the way to the right so that we can break apart the data to the right of it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start typing in the cell next to the first address, D2 in this case, just the address piece. So 82816 Westerfield Park. And that's the only part of the address we're trying to pull out. So basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using the flash fill feature. It's going to look at what we pulled out in this address, and it's going to try to mimic that in the other addresses. So you have to be in the data tab, and then over here to the right, up at the top, you'll see the flash fill. Kind of looks like an icon that's got a lightning bolt in it. Once you click that, you'll see that the addresses are going to come down all the way through in your data. Now it's not perfect, and so what we've got to do is we've got to try to perfect what is coming through. So in this first one, I'm going to add in the word trail because it forgot that word. And what I hope it's going to do is it's going to then look at the rest of the addresses, and if there's a 3-word address, it's going to hopefully fix those. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the next one that I see is an issue, and I'm going to add way. And you can see that it's perfecting them as it goes through. Now you still need to kind of go through and glance and check to make sure it's not missing anything, because it will. And this becomes, tough when you have a large piece of data. It's a lot easier with a smaller piece of data like the one that I have. But right now it's looking pretty good. Looks like everything is coming through well. Just doing some last fixes, last glances. Now, it does look like it's wanting to take part of the city from a couple of these. So I'm just going to go ahead and take those out. But everything else looks very good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this column over to the left, and I'm going to name it address 1. And then we're going to start to do the same thing with the city. We're going to pull out just the city. This is a tricky city. Make sure that you're spelling it right because it's going to try to mimic it. And this city is only 1 word. Actually, this one is 2 words. That's good when it's 2 words on the first one because then it'll look for all the others that are 2 words. And then what we're going to do is, again, we're going to be in the data tab and we're going to flash fill. And we're just going to kind of check and see. Now this one wanted to bring 2 words in too, but it's just 1 word. So hopefully it will kind of look at the other ones that are 1 word and fix those. This one's going to be 3, so it's going to fix any that may be 3, or it may throw the others off, actually. Now, at some point, the flash fill stops working. And then you just kind of have to go through and fix any that you don't see coming through correctly. And I think that's kind of the case at this point. The flash fill has stopped looking for fixes. But I'm just still checking. Looks like this one was missed. And here's one that was missed. And I'm just doing some extra checks here. I know this seems tedious, but it does seem to be the best way to bring the data over if there is not a delimiter. Obviously, the best thing you can do is have a delimiter in your data, like a comma. It makes it much easier to split the data apart in the end. Okay, and then these look good. So actually, that forgot that one. I thought it was there before, but it looks like maybe it had updated it to not have it. But we should be good now. So I'm going to move it over. I'm going to name that city. And these last ones are actually the easiest. It's the state. And I believe these are all Florida. So we'll probably see that they all come through as Florida when you do a quick glance, and they did. See how quick that one came through. And then the zip code is easy as well because it's the only numbers that are coming through in that data over in column F. So it easily sees them. Just check to make sure. Okay, and that looks good. So we can delete this column right here, and now you can see that we've got address, city, state, zip all separated out. It's usually the address and the city that are the most challenging to kind of pull apart, but after that, the state and the zip code are very easy. The only other thing I would probably do to this data is I would just highlight column A here, and I would go into the Home tab and change that into a number format, just to take out those dollar signs and any characters that may be in there. Our CCD system doesn't seem to like those. And then I just check the transaction date to make sure that they're all 1 month of data, because our system can only take 1 month at a time. But that should be it. Everything looks good and it's ready for CCD.